I'd like to call to order the Liberal City Commission for this Tuesday, October 27th. May we have roll call, please?
Mayor Denoyer.
Here.
Vice Mayor Aragon.
Here.
Commissioner Harrison.
Here.
Commissioner Carlisle.
Here.
And Commissioner Martinez.
Here.
We have a quorum, Your Honor.
All right, will you please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation as given by Dr. Jack Jacob of First Southern Baptist Church. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord God, we come to you today, a day that is celebratory of many things, including our U.S. Navy, a day that represents many great possibilities and opportunities to move forward. In many ways, God, every day that we face is an opportunity to move forward or to take a step back. And I pray that you would guide this august group of people gathered around this desk to make decisions that will help us to move forward. I pray, God, that you would guide every one of their decisions with the betterment of our community, with a vision for Liberal being the place that people want to live, that they want to raise their children, that they want to start businesses and maintain businesses. And I pray, God, that you would just help them to understand how to make those decisions amongst all the voices that compete for their ears and all the interests that compete for their minds and hearts. Father, I pray that you would guide them as they work together to be a team, as they stand together, as they compromise when need be, and when they stand firm when they have to. Father, bless them in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Jack.
First item up on the agenda tonight is awards, proclamations, and presentations. We do have two of those. I will read the first one. I will hand deliver that one. Let her say a few words, and then I'll read the second one and do the same thing. The first one is National Family Literacy Day, and it reads, whereas as many as 44 million adults in this country cannot read a level necessary to succeed in today's society, and whereas families, neighbors, and volunteers in these United States must unite in promoting literacy and help those with significant literacy needs learn to read and gain independence by becoming literate, and whereas when individuals learn to read, they enable themselves and their families to gain self-respect and confidence and to reach life goals that otherwise would not be obtainable, and whereas the tireless efforts of the DAR members of the Cimarron River Valley National Society Daughters of the American Revolution are contributing to the success of literacy programs, and whereas the task will not be completed until all who have significant literacy needs are given an opportunity to learn to read, and this be accomplished if communities and organizations across the nation agree to meet the literacy challenge and to promote and observe National Family Literacy Day, November 1st of 2015. Now, therefore, I, Joe Denoyer, Mayor of the City of Liberal, do hereby proclaim that November 1st of 2015 is National Family Literacy Day and urge all citizens of Liberal to focus on special activities and events that showcase the importance of family literacy programs. I'll now present this to Bonnie Raff.
Photo moment over here, Your Honor.
Just a few minutes. November 1st has been set aside by the Society, and I'd like you to know that we are celebrating this year 125 years of service, and we're showing off our t-shirts. And one of the things that they do is family literacy. This is to remind you that we have more and more people who are illiterate. This means they cannot use print or written information to function in society. The statistics coming from research says that if a child is not reading on grade level, by the end of first grade, he will never catch up with his peer that are on grade level or above. 2/3 of the students cannot read proficiently by the end of fourth grade, and they either end up in jail or on welfare. 43% of the adults are reading below a basic level. This is roughly 93 million individuals in the United States. Less than half of the families read on a regular basis to their kindergarten students. If a preschooler has not arrived in kindergarten with some book knowledge, how to use the book, such as where is the front of the book, where is the back, which page is read first, pictures are important, and to know something about the subject matter they're reading, it's very difficult for them to enter kindergarten and be reading where they should be at the end of school. The U.S. ranks 12th out of 20 high-income countries in the composition of literacy in document, prose, and qualitative material. We have our work set out for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, our second proclamation tonight is National American Indian Heritage Month, and it reads, whereas the history and culture of our great nation have been significantly influenced by American Indians and indigenous peoples, and whereas the contributions of American Indians have enhanced the freedom, prosperity, and greatness of America today, and whereas their customs and traditions are respected and celebrated as part of a rich legacy throughout the United States, and whereas Native Americans Awareness Week began in 1976 and recognition was expanded by Congress and approved by George Bush in August of 1990, designating the month of November as National American Indian Heritage Month, and whereas in honor of National American Indian Heritage Month, community celebrations as well as numerous cultural, artistic, educational, and historical activities have been planned. Now, therefore, I, Joe DeNoyer, Mayor of the City of Liberal, do hereby proclaim the month of November 2015 as National American Indian Heritage Month and urge all citizens of Liberal to observe this month with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities.
Good evening, Commissioners. It's nice to be back to be in front of you again to tell you a little bit more, and thank you very much, to tell you a little bit more about American Indian Heritage Month. As of 2000, there are more than 3 million Native American people in Canada and the U.S., including more than 1 million children. Native American children have real-life hopes and real-life problems, just like other children do. They may take part in traditional Indian dances and ceremonies, or they may be Britney Spears fans, or both. They probably don't live in teepees any more than non-Native children live in log cabins, and sometimes they have to do their homework on the internet. So I think they are like our children too. Kanso, which is the name of the Kansas Indian tribe, literally means south and is a shortened form of their own tribal name of themselves, people of the South Wind, shortened to KAW, or Kaw. Most of the Kaw today live in Oklahoma. Today, the Kaw tribe has 3,376 members scattered across the U.S. and is one of the largest employers in Kay County, Oklahoma. Thank you very much for having us here and for this lovely proclamation you have given us.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, gentlemen, next item up on the agenda is approval of the agenda.
Your Honor, I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Harrison with a second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next item is agenda item number 3, approval of the October 13th, 2015 regular meeting. Any additions or corrections to those minutes? If not, I'll call for a motion to approve as presented.
Your Honor, I make a motion we approve the minutes from the October 13, 2015 regular meeting.
I'll second that.
Motion by Vice Mayor Aragon with a second by Commissioner Carlisle. Any discussion? Can see none. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next item is agenda item number 4, items from citizens. Are there any citizens in the audience that would like to address the commission on non-agenda items? All right, I'll read the rules of the commission as you are coming forward. Rules of the Commission. Any citizen desiring to address the Commission shall be recognized by the chair, advance to the podium, state his or her name and address in an audible tone for the record. Presentation shall be limited to 5 minutes unless extended by a vote of the majority of the Commission. The Commission does not hear matters involving litigation or city personnel. The Commission does not take action on subjects not on the agenda unless unusual or hardship conditions exist. Citizens may address the Commission on agenda items as they're brought to the floor. Please come forward, sir, and state your name and address in an audible tone for the record.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Noe. My first name is Noe, N-O-E, Tolento, T-O-L-E-N-T-O, Jr. I'm a public accountant, and I would like to address some concerns that I have.
Sir, we'll need your address also.
My address is 1121 North Tulane Avenue, Liberal, Kansas, 67901.
Thank you, sir. Proceed.
I have several concerns, but I'm going to start with the public road access, or just a public road outside here at town. There's been a, I don't know, it's just determination as to who needs to maintain the road, I guess is what the problem is. The road I'm talking about is the one between Brown Furniture Store and the road between what is now a rock quarry. The road leads to a railroad track owned by the railroad people. I traveled this road, this public road, supposedly about twice to visit my client, Ropo Transmission Shop. I'm getting tired of dodging the holes, commissioners, and I'm getting tired of getting the runaround that it's the city's problem or the county's problem to maintain the road. I made some calls yesterday to find out for sure. I talked with Tony, Commissioner. I believe he told me it was the county's responsibility. Is that correct, Tony?
That's correct. I verified that with Josie.
I talked with the county commissioners. One in particular, Mr. Jim Rice. He said it was the city's problem, city road. So, commissioners, I'd like to get this brought up, and I'd like to get this road repaired, because I'm getting tired of dodging holes. What's going to happen is I'm going to break my front end alignment, and then I'm going to have to send you a bill, either the county or the city. That's my first concern. My second one is, I've been trying to apply for a job with the city. I go to the city department, City Hall, pick up my application. There's 3 or 4 vacancies open, but no job descriptions. I've been trying to talk with someone. I haven't talked with Debbie, but I've been trying to get some answers as to if they could provide me a job description for each particular job. One of them is, I think, a water sanitation position. Another one is maybe police department, probably police officer. Plant operation, maybe, I think, is another position that might be open. I don't know if it still is, but there's 3 right there that I know of that were open as of, I think, last week. So my problem is that if I would like to apply for a position, which I did, I applied for all 3 except for the police, how would I know that I want that position if I don't know what I'm going to be doing or how many hours it takes and so forth? So, commissioners, I'll come here to you to see if you could help me out with that. I think for right now, I think those 2 concerns are mine.
Could I ask you, did you talk with the Human Resources Director, or?
Yes, sir. I talked with the Human Resource Director, and like I say, she knows me now by name because I've been there about 5 times. So she knows who I am, but I can't get any descriptions from her.
Was this today, or?
It's been for the best 6 months. So I'm tired of it, Mr. Mark Hall.
I mean, I was just trying to get.
Yes, I know what you're trying to do. You're just trying to find out if I have more information. But like I said, I've been trying. I did apply for the city bus driver. I did get it, but I found out after I had applied and had been accepted to drive the bus, I found out that my ex-brother-in-law was working as a bus driver, so I didn't want any conflicts at that time. So I declined that at that time. That was back in February. So, like I say, I've talked to the HR person. All she tells me is, no, we can't tell you. It's up to the department head to make the decisions, and then we go from there. I just think that's the wrong way of doing things. I think at least I'd like to have at least a description of the vacancy, so that I can make my determination whether I qualify or whether I want to do it or whether I want to apply for it or whatever the case is.
Commission, have any questions for Mr. Talento? Sir, thank you for coming to the commission.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You're talking about that road right there by the sale barn, is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
All right, we'll move on to agenda item number 5, items from groups. Seeing no groups in the audience, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Agenda item number 6, all items are considered to be routine by the City Commission will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a commission member or citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda, considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. We do have 6A with 2 parts, acknowledgement of receipt of board minutes from the Liberal Housing Authority, September the 15th, and Liberal Convention and Tourism Board, October the 15th. Any questions or on the consent agenda? If not, I'd ask for a motion to approve as presented.
Your Honor, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Harrison with a second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next item is agenda item number 7. We have 3 parts, General Obligation Refunding Bond Series 2015. 7A is acceptance of bids.
Good evening, Larry Kleeman, Lansing Financial Advisors. A month ago, you guys authorized refunding the 2006 bonds that had a relatively high interest rate in today's interest environment, about 4%. And we accepted bids for the bonds today at 11 o'clock. And we had very nice interest rates, received 3 bids. And actually, I've been through a few documents that are in front of you. There are 3 documents. The first one is a summary of bids received. That shows the 3 bidders that the city received bids from: Central States out of Wichita, UMB, and Commerce Bank out of Kansas City. And the way they bid, each one places the interest rate for each of the 5 maturities for the bonds. And then we average out the interest rate at the very bottom of each column, the interest cost. And we look at the average interest rate to see which is the best bid for the city. And that turned out to be Central States Capital Markets, which has the true interest cost of 1.15%. Just to compare that to your current 2006 bonds that are outstanding, the next statement page that I handed out to you. Table 1 shows the interest rate of 4 and 4.25% for your 2006 bonds. So the 1.15% is a much better interest rate, obviously, than the 4% you're paying on these 2006 bonds. And if you turn over to Table 3, there's a column there titled Final Cash Savings. That compares the annual debt service, the principal and interest you pay each year on these bonds, compares the new refunding bonds to the old 2006 bonds you're currently paying. And so you save $10,000 in 2016, over $10,000 in 2017, and so on, all the way down to 2020, you save $92,000 that year. Added up, total savings over the life of the refunding bond is over $122,000. That exceeds the original estimate we had last month, based on conservative interest rates of $91,000. So, and a very good bid today. And the third page you see is an official bid form. It shows the official bid form of the winning bidder, Central States. And to approve the refunding bond issue, there's simply 3 motions you can make. One is to approve the low bid from Central States, represented by the bid form. Second motion would be to approve the bond ordinance authorizing the new refunding bonds. And the third motion would be for the bond resolution, which prescribes more of the details of the bonds, interest rates, call features, and such. Do you have any questions? I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions for Mr. Kleeman?
Cost of issuance, $41,922.50. Is that correct?
On table 4, the last page.
Yes.
Exactly. That itemizes the cost of issuance. The new refunding bonds covers these costs of issuance, so there's no additional out-of-pocket cost to the city. Once the new bonds are issued, the new bonds pay for the cost of issuance, and then the savings, $120,000 or so that we described, go to the city. At the bottom, you see the itemized amount. Bond counsel, $11,500. Our financial advisory firm, $11,500. And there are a few other items. I would point out the miscellaneous, $13,000. That is extra money we had in there that could have gone toward the winning underwriter, that the winning underwriter did not use. So the short answer there is you have $13,000 in remaining funds in the cost of issuance fund, which will go toward the city and can be used to pay your principal and interest. So, yeah, instead of the total of $41,000 in cost of issuance, it's really costing the city about $30,000. So you have, $13,000 left over.
On our meeting a month ago, you said we were paying you $50,000 to do this, correct?
That might have been a guesstimate.
Yes, I understand, I guess. But it's now 41.9 or?
Oh, it's less than that,
Well,
actually.
less than
Minus
that.
the 13.
It's like
Minus
29.
13, so really it's now $30,000.
Like,
Okay,
yeah, right,
okay.
29,000.
So, yeah,
Okay.
we overestimated the cost of issuance there.
Any other questions?
Your Honor, I'd make a motion to approve the acceptance of the low bid. Is that what we want first?
Well, yeah, accept the bid from Central States Capital.
Yep.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Harrison with a second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Call for a motion on final reading of Ordinance 4458, which is the General Obligation Refunding Bond, Series 2015.
I'll make that motion.
I second it.
All right, motion by Commissioner Harrison with a second by Commissioner Carlisle. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. And then I'd call for a motion to approve Resolution 2224, Sale of General Obligation Refunding Bonds, Series 2015.
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
Motion by Commissioner Carlisle,
I'll second this.
second by Commissioner Martinez. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, sir.
All right, we're good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, agenda item number 8, how to pay for these.
Drive safe. Thanks, yeah.
Thank you. Agenda item number 8, Resolution 2225, authorizing a dedicated source of revenue for the repayment of the loans as evidenced by the loan agreements between KDH&E and City of Liberal. Chris?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. For you tonight for your consideration will be the final step in order to finalize the loan agreements with KDH&E. This does have to do with formal dedication of revenue to repay the loans. This revenue would be generated from the wastewater fund in order to repay the KDH&E loan. And like I said, it's just a formality of the final step in order to get things going.
Any questions for Mr. Ford?
This is dealing with the wastewater treatment plant and the sewer
And the intercept
upgrades?
line.
Yes.
Yes, sir. The $29,600,000 combined loan agreements.
Did they accept our rates, what we sent in, or?
Yes.
Yes, those were actually locked in back when we adopted each individual loan agreement. I think 2.11% and 2.2%.
No, I was talking about when,
He was
the
talking about
last
the rate.
meeting, when we was talking about the raising the sewer
The
rates.
first proposal they accepted, didn't they?
Oh, yes, sir, yes, sir. The KDH&E has verified that those are acceptable.
Any further questions for Mr. Ford? I'd call for a
We
motion.
approve the resolution 2225.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Carlisle, second by Commissioner Harrison. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Chris. Next item, agenda item number 9, Kansas Avenue Phase 1 and Phase 2. 9A is approval for Phase 1 and Phase 2 of the Kansas Avenue Reconstruction Project and to authorize the transfer of such funds.
Mayor, Commissioners, what you have before you, it's a project long overdue. It originally started and we were going to proceed. We did have a sales tax issue come up. We have combined with the school on bidding our project with their project in hopes to attract bidders. This would be our part that we bid, and it would be combining Phase 1 and Phase 2. The commission originally approved for Phase 1, $937,970. It is that balance through engineering and repairs is at $876,000. It is one of those that this project will include lighting of Kansas Avenue. Basically, it'll be consistent from Pine all the way to 11th Street. At that point, we go into Light Park, and it is one of those, there's lighting through the park. So this will stop at 15th Street, but the lighting will end and then pick back up north of 15th Street. We have the side businesses in that area that has the lighting, and then the park has lighting itself. So it will include sidewalk replacement and repair, curbing replacement and repair. Also, it will have more permanent street lighting. So it will be more or less a longer lasting street marking down Main Street. Other things in the project we were going to do along in there is when we can, we'll install benches where possible, just for a place to stop. Our hopes with this project, and that's what we've been told, that it will be done with the idea that as far as walking to a business and from a business, that will still be possible. So we actually won't limit somebody from seeing a business during the process. There might be some inconvenience, but with the mill and overlay, that should be very short. The reason being in discussion, they call it a white topping, which is a concrete. It is one of those that we did entertain discussions with those, but the base and especially the downtown is very, very inconsistent. We have brick, asphalt, cement, and therefore the white topping would probably not hold as well as the mill and overlay. White topping would probably be at least a better product, but it is one of those, you have to have a firm base to do that, and this doesn't have it. So a consistent look. There will be some places where we do have some drainage and crossing that you will see cement, but majority will be a mill and overlay. We did receive a bid out of hopefully getting a lot of bidders. We did receive one bid, and that was from J&R Sand Company. That bid is for the asphalt work, the mill and overlay from Pine north to 15th. The remaining is the lighting project, and we do have a contingency that would be returned to the sales tax should it not be needed. The lights, just to explain, the Stromberg, is that how you say it? Lights are very expensive, and they came with, they're from 6th Street to Pancake Boulevard, or the 54 intersection. That was part of downtown streetscape. The state chose those lights and installed those lights. And they range from anywhere from $5,000 to $11,000 to replace. The thing that we've run into is the bases are deteriorating, and we do have some that have fallen over. One example is Briar and Hale. that location in there. We plan on reusing those lights. We want to take them out of harm's way of either getting hit, because they're very expensive, but we can reuse bases and make into lights, and we plan those throughout parks or various, and one such project would be the depot. And that would, something that we've talked about in our downtown connectivity. But other than that, there would be two parts, and one's approving the additional funds needed, and then the second would be approving the mill and overlay and reconstruction bid by J&R Sand Company.
All right, we need a motion to approve Phase 1 and Phase 2 of the Kansas Avenue reconstruction project and to authorize the transfer of those funds, correct?
Yes.
So moved.
BA.
Motion by Commissioner Harrison with a second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any discussion?
Yes, I need some clarification on these numbers, if you would please. You're asking for $2,561,970. Okay.
Yes, $2,500,000.
Well, if I take the 937 and the 1.6, put them together, you're asking for $2,561,970.
The original amount that was from Second Street, which we started the process, that balance is the $876,000 now.
Okay.
And if you put that with the
11624.
24 is $2,500,000.
Okay. And the bid for J&R Sand is 1.364?
And that would be for just the asphalt work. And that was included in.
Where's the rest of the funds are going is what I'm asking.
To the lighting of the project, the
Okay.
lighting of the project. And there is a contingency in the project. Should any amount be left over, that would be returned to the sales tax fund.
Okay.
Any further questions, discussion?
How soon will it get started? Is it going to be in the spring?
We will, upon approval from the commission, we will contact J&R Sand and let them know that they can proceed. It is one of those that, because of our delay with another project that is being discussed, we were hoping to have this in September and have a chance to get started on the project. It looks like it'll probably be in March that would start.
Are we gonna take them humps, whatever you wanna call them, at the corners?
Bowl outs?
Everybody, that everybody runs over?
We shrunk those down with approval of KDOT, but KDOT kind of feels that
It's their idea.
since they participated in an immense amount, I think you all remember that they filled the old staircases and everything like that, we begged and pleaded to get them, to shrink them some. They used to be bigger, but we told them about the lights and this stuff, and they would like to see that Main remain intact.
I
But
know.
we can try.
I know I've had some complaints, and even myself with a pickup. You kind of got to make an illegal turn.
It's about a foot too big.
Yeah,
About a
you
foot
catch
too
the
big.
corner,
It's either
dude.
that or
At Second and,
We'll
where's
see,
the other one?
and Commissioner, we will. We'll see if we can soften them up.
Call for question.
All right, all those in favor?
This would be A.
Right, A. 9A, yes. All those opposed, motion carries 5-0. 9B, acceptance of the bid for the reconstruction of the Kansas Avenue, Pine Street to 15th Street to J&R Sand. Have a motion?
Motion we approve that?
Motion
I'll
by-
second it.
Motion by Commissioner Carlisle, second by Commissioner Martinez. Any discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Agenda item number 10, sewer interceptor line and wastewater
Thank you,
department.
Mayor and Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Once again, we're here to discuss the wastewater project, the interceptor line, to be specific. Back in August, the City Commission approved the bid from Nowak Construction Company to install the new sewer interceptor line. And through circumstances out of our control, they have opted to withdraw their bid. So With that being the case, tonight we would propose from the original bid summary tab sheet from back in August, the next higher bidder was Smoky Hill LLC. Through contact with them, they've acknowledged that they would honor their bid amount of $2,881,368.71. So tonight, for your consideration, staff would request approval of the bid from Smoky Hill LLC and the amount stated, which would be funded from the KDHE wastewater revolving loan fund proceeds.
Any questions from Chris?
I got one. How do you know they're not gonna back out?
Through conversations with the engineering department, they've already confirmed that they're good to go.
Where are they out of?
That is a good question. But I guess the short of the story is the original contractor, there was some confusion in the way that they placed their bid for the interceptor line and, the rates that they utilized and whatnot, how they calculated their bid. And they decided that they weren't able to complete the job for the amount that they stated, so they did back out.
So,
But
We worked with KDHE on this, and KDHE looked at the bids. They had a bid requirement of a competitive wage. The original company did not include that competitive wage. So KDHE said that we're not going to rebid, you knowing what the others have bid. Therefore, we suggest by KDHE that this be awarded to the next bidder.
Yes, I remember this bid with the competitive wage in it.
Smoky Hill is out of Smyrna.
They are bonded, right?
Yes, and they are approved by KDHE.
where was Nowak from?
No,
I
they
can't
were
remember.
from within Kansas also. I apologize, I don't have that specific information.
What's that?
NOAC.
NOAC.
Where are they out of?
Where are
Yeah.
they?
Salina, Kansas.
They were out of Salina also?
Oh, no,
NOAC.
I don't know. No. Sorry,
NOAC.
I'll look real quick.
Okay.
So,
So we're looking at like.
well, I mean,
We need to know where they're out of and why they were.
well, not necessarily so much
Yeah.
that, but it looks to me like if we're doing a competitive bid process and somebody has the low bid, there should be a penalty for withdrawing your bid or something. I mean,
This is, and best way to describe it, this has been a requirement by KDHE. We've just been following, we took in the bids. And I agree with your point is you presented a bid and then KDHE discussed with them as far as, did you include, the prevailing wage? And that is published, and KDHE notified us that the prevailing wage wasn't included in the bid. So then we asked their guidance and they suggested instead of rebidding the project that you go to the next because NOAC has all the bids of the other individuals that did the competitive and prevailing wage.
Should be correct. NOAC is out of Goddard, Kansas.
how do we know that Nowak and Smoky Hill's not splitting the difference?
Well, I guess we don't know for sure. I'll be honest, we don't know for sure. All the bids were submitted at the same time.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
Your Honor, make a motion that we approve the sewer interceptor line bid from Smoky Hill LLC in the amount of $2,881,368.71.
Motion by Vice Mayor Aragon. Need a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Carlisle. Any further discussion?
Now, I just want to state that I'm not trying to beat up on staff on this. I think this is a KDHE deal, I understand, and we're playing by their rules,
But we'll check into
but
that.
it seems a little silly to me, but.
We'll be glad to.
The way that it was explained to me, there was a request, as I understand from NOAC, to do a change order to correct their bid originally, and from that, the way that I gathered, had they bid according to the specifications, it would have been much closer to
Right.
Smoky Hills bid.
But, yes.
That's not normally the case. If somebody makes a mistake on a bid, they're still bound by their bid, so.
Seems like there should have been some kind of verbiage when they sent the request for quote out.
It was contained in there, they just did not do it and didn't get the prevailing.
But I mean,
rates
there
from
should have been
KDH.
also some added verbiage stating that if you back out, there's a penalty.
Or they could have gotten another job and decided they didn't want this one, and so they said, well, you know what, we didn't figure the competitive wage deal. There's an out there for us.
But we can ask about that,
Yeah, that's fine.
no, it is worth, because like I say, we've got some other projects that is going to involve the revolving fund.
Now, will Smoky Hill follow the guidelines set forth that?
Yes.
As far as, instead of going from the plant back, going from, the construction
Once we
phase?
notify them, that's the
Okay.
first topic. Because getting approval,
Because this is.
we
this-
would, and what the mayor is talking about is in the school project, we will be discussing with Smoky Hills, instead of starting at the plant and moving towards Western, we will move from Western towards the plant. So if there is a need to bring the school online, then there can be a temporary line of a very, very short distance that would tie into our O-line. And I guess they're coming down the same way. If they went 50, and I make this up, a very short distance, they connect in our old line and that would get them open. As soon as that interceptor line is out to the plant, then that line would be brought into it. And that's just as a courtesy to the school system.
I think it was like 200 feet or something. It was pretty close, wasn't it?
It was very, very, very close.
Yes. From
It'll be coming down, I think, in the area of Kane Court.
All right, any further discussion?
Kane Court.
All those in favor? Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Mark. Agenda item number 11, board appointment to the Convention and Visitors Bureau. It looks like we've got some flipping and flopping and juking and jiving to do here, so.
Mayor, Commissioners, you have a recommendation for the Convention Visitors Bureau of Pam McElvain. She is currently the lodging representative from the Liberal Inn to the restaurant, and moving her to the vacant restaurant position, representing the Branding Iron, which is a restaurant inside the Liberal Inn. She would fulfill Jack Carlisle's appointment expiring November 2018, and Mr. Carlisle is the commissioner now. Further, Rosa, and can you help me with that?
Castaneda?
There we go. Be appointed to fulfill, now that they would ask the board, or recommend to the board that when Pam McElvain moves over, that she fulfill Pam McElvain's lodging term. And Claudia Garcia be appointed to fulfill,
Vivek Vatkas.
term ending in September of 17.
Vivek has moved away from the community, is why he
Yes.
resigned his position, so.
Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the advisory board recommendations to appoint all the stated people to the above stated, or the previously stated position.
Second.
Motion by-
Something like that.
Yes.
All right. We have a motion by Commissioner Harrison with a second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any further discussion on the board recommendations?
I got a question. On these boards, do they ever come to our meetings to tell us what they're thinking, or? is it
You can
just
ask, but they usually send minutes of their meeting.
What we get here?
Some boards do not record minutes. They're strictly advisory. Usually we get minutes from, like say, Liberal Housing Authority, the Parks and Rec,
Plus,
these kind of those.
you're welcome to attend their meetings too.
You're welcome to. You're not
I didn't know if we
voting
need to go
member.
visit with them or see how that works.
You're welcome to, and then if you have a request, they'd be probably more than glad to come to a meeting.
Okay.
All right. All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next item, city manager's report, agenda item number 12. Mark?
Well, Mayor and Commissioner, staff is, you can tell, things are moving, season is starting to change. We're working to get things closed. We have had another 100-year rain or 200. We have a bunch of projects to do and some remedies to do. I want to thank a commissioner for going with Mr. Seeley, and they were discussing some ideas, but it is one of those that has been a record year. Not to say that there won't be record years, it's just it's gotten so the ground has so saturated with moisture, this 40-some-odd inches, it's just not taking it like it would normally. But we are doing things and plan things to the list. We hope the season doesn't completely change too early because we do have some dirt work to do and we want to get that done before the ground freezes. But other than that, I thank the departments for what all they're doing, and they're working real hard. Tonight, as you know, is early trick-or-treaters out at the ball fields, and that just started. And the main event is at 7? 7. 7 o'clock. But everybody's moving forward to get things. We are going to do and this is a recommendation by staff, is we said the first frost and we thought it was going to be just the other day, but we might move that forward. But we're going to make a big push. It'll probably be somewhere between Veterans Day and Thanksgiving is do a final push to the city. Even though things have started growing, we'll edge, we'll do everything. And that way for the next 6 months, you'll be looking at edged everything. But that was a recommendation by staff, and all departments will participate in that.
So any questions for the city manager?
I do appreciate Joe going with me. Concern I have, and I expressed to him, is that area behind Liberal Inn that floods on a 1-inch rain. I mean, let's just, so there's going to be a lot of kids walking that street to go to them 2 new schools. We need to figure something out. I mean, he showed me what the problem is. There's nothing we can do except for, I don't know, maybe put in a retention pond or try to put the water someplace else, because
Let's try and figure something out.
let's try to figure something out. Tony come with a good idea. We're just going to move Liberal to a higher spot and turn this back into a lake. So, you know.
But, yes, sir, and Joe's, there's been a couple ideas from both commissioners and that stuff, and he's working to see what we can come up with.
Any other questions for the city manager? I'll move on to agenda item number 13, items from commissioners. Commissioner Martinez.
Oh, I see the city out putting the snow fences up, or getting ready for snow fences. Must be thinking they're out there. And I want to thank the guys putting up on South Street. I think that's going to help with the parking issue over there. They're getting that going, that narrow street. So that'll be good before winter time. Good.
What are we doing, taking the parking off there?
Yes, from Larrabee Road to Mission Street, I think.
Yes.
The length of that is a very narrow place, and so I think that'll help during the winter time and stuff there. So thank all the staff for doing a good job.
All right, Commissioner Carlisle.
I appreciate the city staff, and I think Trick or Treat's what, Saturday night?
Yes, sir.
Want everybody to be real cautious about, with the kids out, I want the kids to be real cautious and enjoy the weekend. I'm good.
Commissioner Harrison.
I don't have anything, thank you.
Vice Mayor Aragon.
You ain't gonna help the kids here.
I just thank the city staff, that's about all I have
Give your
tonight.
address out.
Is that it? All right. Again, just want to thank city staff for a great job throughout the summer months and keeping up with mowing as best as they could with the record rains. And I know we're due for an abnormally wet winter. And I know the street department and other departments are preparing for that probably on a daily basis. I do want to invite everyone out tomorrow night to Liberals Memorial Library. Former Liberal BJ from 1960 is in town. He'll be doing a book signing, autographs, telling baseball stories. After he left the BJs in 1960, played 11 seasons in the major leagues. Earned 2 gold gloves, an all-star appointment, and hitting instructor for the 1985 Kansas City Royals when they won the World Series. Anyway, he's coming to town and would like to see a lot of support for him tomorrow night, 6 o'clock at the library. So he's right now meeting with the BJ board as we speak. So we'll be reading to 2 elementary schools tomorrow, and then on Thursday also. Ken Berry is his name. So Council of Governments, final one of the season, final one of the year, Thursday, 7 o'clock. Each entity that is present will be given a short update on what's going on with their governing body. So 7 o'clock this Thursday for those that can make it. Other than that, that's all that I have, so we'll move on to the vouchers. Agenda item number 14.
Order, make a motion, we approve the vouchers in the amount of $2,370,005.70.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Vice Mayor Aragon with the second by Commissioner Carlisle. Any discussion on the vouchers? Seeing none, call for the vote. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, call for a motion to adjourn.
So much.
Meeting adjourned. Thanks.